My 26 female mom passed away a few years ago. During that time, we discovered that my dad had been cheating on her with a girl my age. His whole family disowned him and cut contact with him except for me. I guess that at that time I wasn't ready to let go of both my parents at the same time, but over these last 5 years, I've been able to let go to the point I only see them twice or thrice a month. It's like I have no family left. Don't get me wrong, I also blame the girl for what happened, but the responsibility toward my mom and me was my dad's, not hers. They eventually had my half-sister, Toddler. From what I've heard and know, my dad and his wife are living paycheck by paycheck on a budget and in a rental home since everyone in the family changed their will, both my grandparents and my mom. My dad won't get the house because it was an eventual inheritance from my grandparents. But since she died first, I'm the sole benefactor from both sides since my paternal grandparents skipped my dad. Now, 2 days ago I went to visit him because it was his birthday, and he said he and his wife wanted to talk to me. I was like, yeah, okay. They said that they wanted me to be the legal guardian of my half-sister in case something happened to them, mainly because I'll have the means for it. My dad's wife's parents can only care for her, but to a minor extent, and I'll have the money needed to take care of an innocent child. I said no, not for the money, but because I didn't want to. I'm not close to my sister, and currently I don't see nor want myself taking care of a child, much less one that is reminiscent of my mom's last heartbreak. So I said I was willing to pass along a monthly check, like a child support payment, but less than that since she's not my kid, but that was the only thing I was willing to do. My dad cried, saying that she was his baby and I could be a good sister like I was raised to be, but I just laughed and said he was no one to talk about good and wrong and he and his wife should have thought of that before cheating. His wife called me a monster and kicked me out of the house. I left. Later that night, I sent my dad a text informing him of my decision to cut ties with him completely and that from now on will be no contact unless it's an emergency. He's begging me to reconsider, but I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Not the idiot, they were just getting started. The first step was to get you to agree to be her guardian if something happened to them. Once they've established that you care about your half-sister and want to help her, they will ask you to buy her extra clothes for her birthday or take her to school shopping. Then they'll ask for help because they're short on rent and must ensure their half-sister isn't homeless. Run, and don't look back. I agree with everything you said, especially the asking for money and inheritance. It won't be long until they need a place to live and want to move into OP's home. Hun, your dad is with a girl your age. Got her pregnant while she was like 20? She'll be around for a good while, hopefully, who knows? Does she not have a family either? So they can deal with whatever your father and his wife have going on. It's even better. When OP's paternal grandparents pass, they would ask for the inheritance house because it was supposed to be Dad's anyways. OP, your father has not been responsible his whole life and wants to stick you with the half-sister? How about no? Send her off to your dad's wife. It's her responsibility. It's her family's bloodline. Honestly suspicious, like they want to dump the kid on you and run away. Money. OP is the one who will be inheriting everything. Dad gets nothing. This is just a way for him to get a toe in the door. OP, good on you for not getting caught on a slippery slope. Looking past the fact that your dad was cheating in your mother's final moments, he's an idiot. He's trying to put the responsibility onto you and using you. See how you only talk to him twice or thrice a month? He comes to see you because he wants a favour. You don't need to take care of that child at all. So my boyfriend, 20, and I, female 19, have been dating for 4 years now. He was in 10th grade and I was in 9th when we got together. My parents and his parents always knew about our relationship. We actually lived near each other when we were younger and went to the same kindergarten. Now, his father was a single father for a long time and my parents got divorced 3 years ago. 3 weeks ago, I got home, since the university is in the same city I still live with my mom, and I saw my mom and his dad kissing. It's an understatement that I was shocked. I immediately called my boyfriend and he came over. We got into this huge fight with them. They started talking about marriage. The same day, I requested to get a room in a dorm, and since then I haven't talked to her until family dinner at my aunt's house. While everyone was eating, my aunt asked why my mom and I weren't talking, so I told them everything. Well, maybe if she wasn't sleeping with my boyfriend's father, who is apparently going to be my brother's father soon, I would talk to her. Maybe I was harsh on her, but I was really hurt. My mom got all red and embarrassed and started shouting about how our love was just young and asking why she should ruin her love life because we kids think it's going to last. I started crying, shouting at my mom, and left. My grandmother called saying how cruel I was. Literally, somehow everyone is siding with my mom except my cousin. Am I the idiot? Was I too cruel? Not the idiot. You've been together 4 years and your mom crossed a line. The whole family sided with her bad choices, which is weird. Although me being petty, I would grab my boyfriend, go to the courthouse and get married so we would be the ones married first and in a relationship for the longest. Don't get married to spite someone, holy crap. Many people are skimming over the fact that OP's mom believed it was okay because she thinks their relationship is fleeting and won't last. They've been dating for 4 years, mind you. OP's mom's relationship is newer than OP's. That is so disrespectful and ironic coming from OP's mom. OP has every right to feel uncomfortable. Everyone telling OP to grow up needs to understand that the mom could have chosen a billion other dudes to date, and she settled so quickly on her daughter's boyfriend's dad. Like, seriously? Hopefully someday your mom will understand your point of view. Even if the relationship doesn't last, imagine seeing your ex at every family gathering in the future if the parents stay together. There's no way for this situation to end well unless the parents don't get together, which they shouldn't have in the first place. You are the idiot. Why is this a problem for you? Sure, it will be a little inconvenient if you guys break up and don't want to meet each other and need to check who's visiting on which holiday, but on the other hand, if you don't break up, you don't need to visit two families on holidays. But your mom is in love, so being against her new boyfriend will only bring them closer together, like teenagers. So with your attitude, you will not achieve anything. Just reduce the contact with your mom if it bothers you, but you can't dictate who she's dating. You need to understand that. I, female 29, live in Australia. I moved to Australia 5 years ago to move in with my Australian long-distance boyfriend at the time. He's now my husband and I'm now officially an Australian citizen. I'm originally from Britain and the rest of my family lives there. My husband and I own a house with a spare bedroom, and over the past 4 years I've allowed my older sister Becky, 35, and her husbands and kids to vacation at our home, except during 2020 when there were travel restrictions. They are in love with Australia and are very grateful to visit here. This year they visited last month for 2 weeks. Becky and her husband took the spare bedroom and the kids had air mattresses in the living room. They had a great time and it was all very pleasant. But the day after they left, I noticed that Becky and her husband completely trashed the spare room. There were food wrappers, crumbs and plastic bottles all over the floor, food stains all over the bed, weird marks on the furniture that weren't there before, and an awful rotting smell in the room that we couldn't get rid of. I texted Becky pictures of the room and said that this was not okay. Becky said that she was sorry and said that she and her husband were in holiday mode and just wanted to relax. I told her that my husband and I weren't her maids and said that she and her family were not allowed to come back next year. Becky said I'm being irrational and that it was just a little mess. I told her I didn't care and that it was mine and my husband's house and we didn't want it to be treated that way. Becky got our parents involved and they accused me of thinking I was better than everyone and said that I was being unfair to Becky. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. While they're on vacation mode, you're not. That's your home. You brought those furnishings and home with your hard-earned money. She behaved like a pig and left a sty. If she did that to a hotel room, she would be forced to pay for damages. Anyone complaining can pay for your sister's future hotel bill. LOL, not wanting your place trashed means you think you're better than everyone? I guess we know who the golden child is. She's old enough to know it's damn rude to trash someone's place, especially when she's staying for free. But it seems like even her children have better manners than her. Even when I'm staying in a hotel, I try to clean up my mess a bit, but unfortunately she's an entitled idiot and won't even acknowledge she was wrong, so no, she doesn't get to stay with you again. If she wants to get others involved, send them the pics and ask, so if she did this to your home, then you'd be okay? Because if so, I'll come to visit and stay with you and do the same since it's okay. Holiday mode only works if you've paid someone for housekeeping. Guaranteed that Becky didn't give the parents the full story. Oh, we just left some empty bottles that we forgot to grab on our way out, etc. My sister, 31, Stephanie, was our parents' golden child, while I, 28 female, and my other sister, 33, Emily, were always an afterthought. Our parents would tell Emily it was okay for Stephanie to insult and steal her things because she's your baby sister. They would allow Stephanie to do the same to me because your big sister knows better than you and you need to listen to and respect her. Stephanie was the centre of attention at any event. She would get more gifts than us on our birthdays and would also get to select the theme and who was invited. This has continued even as Stephanie is now an adult. For example, Stephanie not only chose a place I hated for my graduation dinner, but she also chose to announce her pregnancy at the same dinner, and my parents knew about it. They scolded me for being upset because a diploma's a piece of paper. This is a new life. They said it was important that everyone was there for the news of the family's first grandchild. I realised that they would never value me compared to Stephanie. Since then, I haven't spoken to Stephanie or my parents beyond emergencies concerning other family members, and neither has Emily. We've communicated slightly more since my mother passed away, but it's still minimal. I'm getting married and my father has reached out to me about the plans for him and Stephanie to arrive early since he assumed he would walk me down the aisle. At the same time, Stephanie would be an honorary lead bridesmaid of sorts. Emily is already my maid of honour. I explained to my father that Matt, my best friend since college, would be walking me down the aisle. My father started commenting on how this was ridiculous and disrespectful because the man who raised me and gave me life should matter more to me than some college buddy. He then demanded to know about Stephanie's spot as a bridesmaid. I told him that Stephanie was not invited to the wedding because I knew if Stephanie attended, she would always be the centre of attention. I wanted a day about me and my accomplishments and milestones instead of it being all about Stephanie. I don't care how bratty it sounds. He kept arguing. I got fed up and told him he could go walk the daughter he cared about down the aisle and hung up. Now multiple people, mostly extended family, are calling me an idiot on various points. They're saying how my mother became extremely ill during her pregnancy with Stephanie. The doctors were not optimistic about their survival, and I could never truly understand what that would be like to live in constant fear of losing your child. Many are saying that I'm wrong to ban Stephanie from the wedding because, in a way, she's also a victim of our parents' favoritism. They point out that Stephanie isn't having the easiest time in life right now, and she could use some sisterly support and involvement. I disagree with these points, but am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Stephanie can speak to a professional about the tough time she's having. However, it is not on you to hold your breath for the entirety of your wedding day. As for your dad, you don't get to play favourites and assume you are the apple of all your children's eyes. Ignore the extended family and their BS reasons. They weren't living your life for even an hour, so away with them. Away with them sounds Shakespearean. Love it. And this was exactly my thought. If Stephanie was a victim of this behaviour, so was OP. So unless and until Stephanie can show she has realised her behaviour was hurtful to others, and she can be at an event without ruining it for others, she is unwelcome. Because you know who else was a victim of the parents' favouritism? OP. It sounds like it's about the time Stephanie was put in her place, and the same goes for your father. Enjoy your wedding without them. For once in your life, this day is about you, and you don't want people around who will bring you down or gossip behind your back. So I hope you have a fantastic day and make some great memories with your sister Emily, who cares about you. My husband and I have different tastes when it comes to food. That's perfectly fine. However, lately, whenever we go to a restaurant, we both order different dishes, then he suddenly asks to eat from my dish and would throw a fit if I refuse. He's done this several times and I snapped and told him to stop asking and order from the same dishes if he wanted it so bad. Last night we went out for dinner and ordered different dishes. Before we made the order, I asked if he was sure about the dish he picked and he said yes. The food arrived and each of us had our plates and started eating. Literally minutes later he asked if he could eat from my dish. I looked at him. Are you serious right now? He went on about how he couldn't resist the dish's look and wanted to try it. I refused and said no. I kept eating and he kept pushing till I blew up and he suddenly got quiet. Then he got up and walked out. He was furious with me and picked an argument at home when I returned. He said that I acted petty and that all he asked for was a few bites of my meal, and I chose to make a scene and yell and embarrass him instead. We're not speaking to each other right now because of what happened. I feel crappy about it and I think I could have just let him have some of the food instead of choosing to die on the silly hill. Edit, we pay for our meals separately. Joey doesn't share food, LOL. Reference from the show Friends if you don't know. But to be serious, you've already stated your preferences and boundaries. You do not like it when he asks for food off your plate. If anything, it's silly and rude of him to continue to ask when he knows you don't like it. It is kind of petty though on your part. Most people don't care to share or offer a bite, so if that's all he's asking for is a bite, you're kind of the idiot. But if he wants a large share of your food, definitely not the idiot. It's the fact that he throws a tantrum when you say no that makes him the idiot. However, your marriage doesn't sound like it's all put together yet. Not gonna lie, kinda weird to know that you pay for your meals separately, but also that he's childish enough to walk out when he doesn't get his way. Everyone who doesn't understand, let me explain it to you. Partners who do this after being told no don't want the food, they just want to take it from you. It's a test to see how far they can push your boundaries. It seems so simple until you look at how it blew up into a fight. If it were so innocent, a fight wouldn't have happened. This was a power play, and he's furious that she isn't giving in. This sounds like a symptom of a larger problem. Do you even like each other? Recently, my friend's husband did the same thing because he wanted to cheat. He did everything to make his wife crazy and told her they must separate for a while due to her bad character. He lied, of course, that this had nothing to do with cheating, he just needed time to think. But he cheated with at least 2 people that friend knows about, maybe more. Since this food issue is a relatively new development, I have to wonder if it's something like this because it sounds very intentional.